Well, hello, everyone. I am Marcus Hall, and here is another episode of MN Style Guide. And today we have my good friend. Let's introduce yourself, brother.
My name is Jesse, Jesse Rogers, Casper SMC on YouTube or socials. I kind of go by both. But yeah, man, I appreciate you having me.
Yes, I thank you for coming. We had a mutual friend of ours kind of introduce us, and then you came down to the shop, and I was fortunate enough to you let me style you. And I'd had no idea the layers that you had, but we talked about you have a podcast and YouTube channel, I'm sorry, about investing in the stock market, correct? So
Yeah,
tell me a little
yeah.
bit about that.
Yeah, so it's like it's more trading. So like there's trading and investing. A lot of people that don't do either think they're both the same thing. So investing is great. You should invest, of course, but trading is more like, okay, I'm going to look at the Nasdaq futures market and based on certain patterns on the chart, I'm going to enter with the intention of catching the move of the day.
Okay.
And you could swing trade, which means trade for longer than a day. There's a lot of different ways to trade, a lot of different markets.
So you're what they call a day trader?
That's correct.
Oh, right on. Now, how did you get into that?
So back in 2016, I had got involved in crypto through some people that I knew that were using it for various reasons. And essentially I bought into crypto, right?
Okay.
I had no idea what I was doing.
I was going to ask you about that whole crypto thing and what you thought about it, but you're already getting into it. So go ahead.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So essentially I got into it back then. That was before the first bull run that went mainstream. So I put in, it was like 20 something thousand bucks, made just under 400,000, but then I lost all of it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So explain that to me. How does that, because now there's Bitcoin is a form of crypto, correct?
Yeah, that's the big king crypto.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
And so now it's, I think I looked today and it's like worth, what is it, 93,000?
Something like that. It dropped a little bit today, but then it's something around 90,000. I was checking it in the car, man. That's what I was doing when I was sitting out there. Not really. I really was looking at the market. That's funny.
So you lost 400 grand.
Yeah,
you had 20,000 and lost the 400.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was at that time, I was barely 20 years old, right?
Okay.
So that was a lot of money at that point.
It is.
Right?
It's a lot of money still. Really.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. I mean, it's still a lot of money. Yeah, but I basically I got it, and then the goal was, okay, cool. I've made all this money. Now I want to learn how to multiply it, how to trade it, right? Because of course not. I couldn't just hold on to it. I had to make more, right? So. Yes. I wanted to start learning to trade. I remember watching these channels on YouTube. They're still around, like Trading 212. There's a bunch of these real basic, real entry level type channels. I learned from them. Ended up losing a bunch of money. I had no risk management, no common sense. I was just a young kid with a lot of money, and then that was what got me hooked, though, right? Because that was a slow burn, and there's a lot of different pieces to that puzzle that I could unpack. But essentially, slow death by 1,000 cuts, if you will, right? And then got hooked and. Yeah, man. Fast forward, it's almost been 9 years since then.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
So now you strictly day trade. Is that basically?
Yeah, I mean, I invest in crypto too. Like I recently am on the core team for a crypto, like a project that just started, right? But we just started it on the 30th of December. It's already at like a $30 million market cap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. So that's another thing. I started a crypto project. Of course, like huge investor in crypto itself, right? With a lot of experience from the last couple of cycles. I also do real estate. I have a business too. So I day trade and do a lot of different things.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But day trading is the core focus I have in terms of active income with the markets. Because there's really like passive, like dividend investing, buying stocks and holding them, retirement account, whatever, mutual funds, all that. But then there's okay, I'm putting in time to this. Because everyone wants to think of trading as passive income.
Okay.
Like, dude, it's not passive. It is anything but passive. It's stressful, time-consuming, emotionally taxing,
Yes. Highs and lows. And I think, and we were talking a little bit earlier, and I'll let you give me a little bit more about your background. But I used to run an illegal gambling operation and ended up going to prison for 14 months. We got sentenced to 36 months. But what I found was that I got addicted to like the opportunity of I could make this much money today, and then the thrill, and then some days were good, some days were bad, but just that whole up and down or whatever the case would be. So it was a little crazy, but now I was like, how the heck did I do that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Emotionally, like I'm like, wow, I'm so so much more chill, and you know, I get up and I do my thing and I style people, and you know, basically sling clothing, but just the emotional turmoil I put on myself, then it's crazy now, man. But so that being said, tell me a little bit about you, man, and where you're from, and and all this good stuff.
Right? Yeah, so Johnson City, Tennessee, originally. I was born in Charleston, well, Mount Pleasant, which is right outside Charleston, but moved to Johnson City when I was a very young kid. Parents had, I won't say had it all, like we weren't rich, but we were definitely like upper middle class, right? Like the American dream.
Got it.
Had a nice house, mom stayed at home, dad worked a corporate job, like some, happy days type shit, right? But then 2008, basically they were over leveraged. They didn't plan very well. We'll just say that.
I understand.
Wiped, and they lost everything. Like lost the cars, lost the house, went bankrupt. My dad lost his job, and from then on, we moved to, it wasn't like we lived in like the ghetto of Chicago or something, but I mean it was the poor area of town, right?
Okay. And this is in Johnson City.
Yeah, okay. In Johnson City, and then as effectively to keep a very long story short, they both, my mom had to go to work, my dad had to work a different job. I was always home, right? So I started smoking weed with the older kids. That spun, I started when I was like 11 years old. I was super young. That spun pretty vigorously into me getting deep into like the drug trade, right? Mm. So,
so weed, coke?
That was what I got indicted for, was weed and coke.
Oh, okay, right on. All right, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Johnson City kid.
Yeah, man. Right. It was the largest drug case in Washington County history.
Oh, wow.
Pretty crazy, yeah, man. It's a blessing I'm still here. And not to glorify any of that shit, it's not cool. But just, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's the biggest, but it was, right? So to keep a very long story short, I basically, from there, I ended up moving to California when I was 19.
Okay.
Got into like the legal weed business, trying to get out everything, because I was like super just thrown off of different stuff, doing drugs, just that lifestyle, right? I went to California, ended up being pretty successful in the legal weed game, had a large grow. And funny enough, okay, so first I was in NorCal, then I moved back home to Asheville, a little far away from home. That was really where things kind of like got big in that realm. Mm. Fast forward a couple years, things got like really crazy. A lot of people were getting in trouble, so I went back to LA. Mm. That was in like 2020, COVID time.
Yep, right.
And then I ended up they came after me in California from Tennessee.
Of course.
And got charged with conspiracy to traffic 300 pounds of marijuana and 300 grams of coke and money laundering. Mm. Yeah, man. And God willing, God bless, I'm still here. But effectively, I fought that case for 3 years, went through firing one lawyer, hired 6 other lawyers, the 26-person indictment. Most people didn't go to prison in it because the feds didn't pick it up. It was kind of a ridiculous case, to be honest. Like the way they were charging people's moms with it, it was like just because they were, So it was kind of like a witch hunt. And then, yeah, man, the only people that ended up actually going to prison for were the people that had guns. That was because in Tennessee, it's like if you have guns, it's a felony.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, God bless. I got through it all, and
so you didn't have to go to jail.
Well, I mean, I went to jail when I got booked.
But you didn't get sentenced to prison, so you were able to. Wow.
No. Yeah, man.
Well, good for you.
Yeah,
man.
bro.
Wow, and then you were able to then obviously make another turn.
Oh yeah, and well, it's kind of crazy. It was in the time that I was fighting the case was when I really made the turn, because I got depressed. There's so much I go into. I started a trucking company in that time as well, and it's crazy. We basically, whenever I came back, I'd been trading for a couple years at this point. Had finally seen some success right before I got in trouble. Got in trouble when I came back. I had obviously lost a bunch of money. You can only imagine. I mean, they seized a total of $800,000 in that. So
I do understand.
Yeah. So effectively went back to square one. Court said I had to get a job to stay out on bond, right, to prove that I wasn't still doing that.
Right on.
I started a business. There's a trucking company with I sourced investors from. Basically, I was a part of a trading community that I paid for, like just one of these online Discord groups. And the people that were in that, I sourced them as investors for a trucking company. Because I knew a buddy of mine who had a dump truck company. Yep. And I was like, okay, we can
one same kind of putting the dots together, like you've been doing in the past, knowing one person, and he can help me with this, and making the connections.
Exactly,
right
man.
On, man.
Yeah, man. Yep. But then we raised like just under $1 million probably after it was all said and done. It was over a slow period of time. What we were doing was we were buying the trucks. We would fly out, go get the trucks, fix them up ourselves.
Okay.
get them on the road, dispatch, hire drivers, all that, run the business. Essentially, the person bought the truck. That truck became a money printer for him.
Amen. Yep.
Worked really well until we basically, a lot of different things at one time. Mainly what started it was we used to go out of our pocket to fund some of the projects for investors.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, sometimes people's money starts to be slower coming in.
Yep.
And we had a liquidity problem. So then it was a factoring company, which in trucking, basically everything's net 30, meaning you don't get paid for 30 days.
Totally understand that. Yep.
Or you could sell an invoice to a company for a cheaper rate. So that company is like your payment processor.
Yep.
That's your water.
We have factoring in the fashion business.
Oh, so you have, okay. So you understand it, yeah.
The same thing would be if we got, I got a contract from, say, Macy's,
mm-hmm.
and it was for $2 million. Well, if I didn't have the capital to pay for the garments that they ordered, I'd go to a factoring company. They pay me the invoice, but they take 20%.
Exactly.
And then, but you can't make any money like that. Eventually it catches up to you.
Yeah, exactly. We learned that one the hard way.
Yes.
And we made good money as long as they paid. But then, of course, with those companies, it's just like any financial company. There's always some kind of shit. It's like when you try to go get a bunch of money out of the bank, or there's always some kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
So essentially, we got railroaded in that business at first. We basically went huge downturn, kind of picked it back up, but then the Ukraine war came. Right, so it was like 2022.
Okay.
How
did that affect you guys?
Oil.
Oh, right on.
So
yes.
Fuel
so
prices.
The fuel prices. God almighty.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was over.
Yes.
It was game over. Right.
On.
So we basically just closed up shops, and at that point, I was a little over a year into fighting my case, and I thought I had something. I was like, oh, we figured something out. This is going to be great to show the courts. But then it's like, oh, you just blew up, actually. So actually, you're just a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like, it was real bad. And I got all depressed, got fat as shit, was drunk all the time. And not the kind of drunk I was before. Before I was drunk going to like parties and like going to the clubs.
No, you were depressed drunk.
Yeah, now this time I was drunk at the house, drinking Jameson.
Right?
Yeah, smoking vape, fucking nicotine vapes and shit. But yeah, and then I basically at that point I went to like a whole other place, and I realized I was like, dude, you got to fucking get a hold of yourself. If you have any hope of getting through this shit, you need to get your fat ass up and start getting to fucking work. Something's got to give.
Right on.
So I remember I went crazy like psycho, dude. I was starting to do like the whole fucking. I was cold plunging, fasting, running. I was a fucking psycho, dude. I lost like 60 pounds in like a couple months. Ended up starting to trade really good. And at this time, too, I was starting to build content.
Okay.
Right? So it kind of like came together. Had this crazy run. I used to just go live and trade, which most people in the trading industry, they're just full of shit, bro.
Okay.
Like it's like all gurus. I mean, like, and I know a lot of these people in like the whole make money online space. 85-90% of them, they only make money selling you on how to make money,
but they don't actually make money.
Yeah, exactly.
You got it right on.
So I did it live to show like, I've, because a lot of people came into trading with COVID, so it was like a lot of influx of people. I'd been doing it for years at this point, so I had some experience, and I already lost a lot of money. At this point, my mind was like so numb to losing money, which is what makes trading hard.
Right on. Like counting the dollars that
I
totally understand that. Yeah.
So from there,
it's like going to gamble like in Vegas scared. You can't be scared.
Exactly.
Right?
No, you understand it exactly. Yeah,
100%.
So trading and gambling is extremely similar. It's probabilities.
Right on.
No matter how good people think in trading, you're going to get good, and you just know where the market. Like people ask me all the time, "Where's the market going?" I'm like, I don't know.
Right.
No one knows. Yes, but like I do know that if I do the same thing 100 times,
be consistent.
It'll have a positive outcome.
Amen.
As long as I don't fuck up along the way.
You got it right on. Yep.
So, yeah, man, I basically started doing it live. It kind of popped off, and this was all coming to a head like the end of my case. I'd made a good deal of money from trading, YouTube, doing all sorts of different stuff, and then I ended up firing the lawyer I had and hiring. You ever seen the movie Masterminds by Zach Galifianakis?
Yes.
So his lawyer, I hired that dude.
Okay.
And his whole firm.
Wow.
It's like it was a lot of money, right? So I hired them, went broke, went into debt, like maxed out all my credit cards. Like I remember they must have thought I was crazy because I was like, "Do you have another payment link for $17,400?" That's like the balance I had left available on a credit card, and I maxed it all out, went in debt. And sure as shit, man. Like the lawyer that I had, there was definitely some kind of bullshit because he only filed 2 motions in 2 years. And the only motions he filed a motion to suppress evidence, but they never caught me with any evidence. Like it was like to suppress all the evidence they found in my California home. They didn't find any. They found $1,200 in cash. So it was like, what are you going to suppress? Right? It was just a bullshit motion. Just, you know, it was politics, right? It was the biggest case in that county's history. They were trying to get the feds to pick it up.
Right on.
Whole lot of stuff, and then yeah, man, it was a miracle. Nothing. I remember I was with my girl at this place called the Dominique in New York City. It's a hotel, and we were like in this high-rise room eating breakfast because by YouTube at this point had blown up. Like I had become a pretty big name in the trading space, right? Okay. And I remember I got the call from my lawyer. He's like, "We did it. You're not going to prison." Wow. And I didn't even believe it. Like I kind of did because
like
I was like, bro,
what's next?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, I got fined and things like that. But yeah, man. So that was in February of 2024 when that happened. And then since then, the beginning of 2023 was really when I kind of like the rock bottom started going up. I was at like 2,500 subscribers. Now I'm at 200,000, and I started a business from it, which now has over 1,000 members. Wow! So it's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
Tell me about that. How does that work?
So basically, people buy it. It's not like your average cheap monthly subscription. Yeah, it is expensive, right? But with that, what it comes is like direct mentorship. And I just trade live. Now I don't do it for free. Okay. I used to do it for free, but now I don't do it for free. I just do it in my group. Okay. So people pay for it.
So what you used to do on YouTube and show people what you did on the day-to-day, now it's like a subscription. And if you want to watch you do that in action, then you've got to pay to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I always like this. I still show everybody what I do for free all day. Like I'll put out all the information for free on YouTube. Like you genuinely don't need to buy my thing. You really don't. Okay. But if you want to buy my thing to get access and to like be sitting there, because trading, it's like anything's nuanced. Like you could go read, like for example, like let's say if you were, I don't know, tasked to become a great swimmer. And I got two options. Okay, option A, here's a book by Michael Phelps. It has everything you need to know about how to swim in it. Option B, you go fly out to Michael Phelps.
And swim with Michael
Which one is going to work better?
I heard that, right?
Can they both work?
Yeah, right on.
For sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But which one's going to work better? So that's kind of the approach I try to take. And I think you build a better audience like that because there's this like common misconception in content that like you kind of like, and this is a paid advertising tactic where you ever been to like a webinar where they get you the webinar, you go, and it isn't anything but yapping about how great the opportunity is. Yes. And then it's them that
selling you on, yes.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, it can work. It's just grimy, and you don't build a actual audience or like a connection. And it's easy to get to like zero to, I won't even say hero, but you're not going to become a legend doing that. Right on. You know, you look at all the people that have really killed it. They give it out for free. So, yeah, man, that's kind of it in terms. There's a long answer to that about the background, right, but yeah, man.
So now what?
Now, man, really the next goal. I want to keep growing the brand. Obviously, want to really continue to size up heavily in trading. Right now, like I said, we built this crypto project, and it's actually fucking insane how much like that can grow so fast. So we're trying to get it listed on one of the top exchanges, which is like anybody watching that knows crypto will know how much that's a bold thing to try to do. Effectively, it's like trying to get a company listed on the NASDAQ. Okay. But we're going for the biggest exchange, Binance. You could get it listed on some podunk exchange and just pay them like $50K and they'll list it. Okay. But then they sell it. So it's like a rug pull, if you ever heard that term. Basically, the price will crash, right?
Is that what the Hawktua girl did? Or
yeah, whatever? Well, they did. She honestly got screwed over, though. Like, people that know crypto know this. I mean, like, unless you just want to hate on her. Because, like, from an objective viewpoint, it's very obvious. She's just an idiot. Like, honestly. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, she had no idea what she's doing.
Getting into, she just did it.
Yeah, the people that set it up for her, they rugged it. I guarantee she probably actually didn't make that much money. If anything, they probably came to her and one of two things happened. A, they said, we'll build this for you and we'll all make a bunch of money. And they either, kind of screwed her out of money, maybe sold hers for her, which caused, the rug to pull.
Yeah, you got it, right.
Or they completely screwed her over. One of those two things. Because, like, you got to think, it would be such a stupid move for her, because a lot of people say like they made 50 million. Like that was like that's not how that works. Like yes, the market cap went to 50 million. They didn't own 100% of it.
Of the market.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, did they probably make a lot of money? I think it was like 2 million. But like dude, she makes million. Like, I mean, she has the opportunity to make a lot of money.
Yep,
she's not gonna do that for $2 million. But it sucks because people that don't understand that, which I can see from anyone else's perspective, they're gonna think she did it.
Right.
Even a lot of people in crypto think it, but that's just because they like hating people.
Period.
People love
hating people. Yeah. That's the name of the game. Yes.
Yeah. So
in the life that we live in social media, people just love hating on each other.
Yeah,
Any
man.
opportunity they can do to rain on your parade is they're gonna absolutely take it. So I feel you, brother. I feel you. So you got this new deal going, and you guys are about to list. So what else is new? What you got coming down the pipe, brother?
I just got my offer accepted on some property the other day. I went up to Ohio and getting into some duplexes. It's crazy up there. The fucking prices are cheap, dude. Like, for example, I got a 2-unit, 4-bedroom in each one for $350K.
Oh wow!
And it's not like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not. It's in a dicey neighborhood, but it's not the hood by any means.
You got it.
Like, still, I probably wouldn't live there, but you know what I mean. Like, there's definitely some crackheads nearby. They're not on the street, but they're nearby. You know what I mean? They ain't too far away. But they're gentrifying. Like, for example, the 2 houses across the street, they tore down the old houses and built new ones within the last 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And they're building 3 more new ones on the block.
Now, what part of Ohio?
Lincoln Heights. Okay. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
Yeah. So it's right near this aerospace. I can't remember the name of the company. I think it's GE Aero or something, but some big aerospace factory. They are trying to gentrify the whole neighborhood because they want people to be able to live there and work there.
Gotcha.
So it's like a good play. I mean, off rip, putting 25% down, it's cash flowing $2,000 a month.
Wow.
Which ain't a bad. I mean, that's like hard to find for
in this day and age for real estate. That is super hard to find.
Yeah, and it's the top 10. It consistently kind of comes in and out of. Cincinnati will be in the top 10 for new children being born.
Okay.
And families moving there from metropolitan areas in the United States. Which to me, I have no idea why, because Cincinnati's a shithole. It fucking sucks there. I was there and I was like, I don't know. The whole time I kept thinking, why are there this many people moving here?
I like Cincinnati. It's kind of like the beginning of big cities. From if you're going north, and you come through Florence, Kentucky, and then it's like, whoa! It's like, where did this come from? So they've got a pretty decent football team. They didn't make the playoffs this year, and so, but it can be. It's interesting.
I think the Northeast, to me, just something about it. I don't know. Like, I think it's because I've been to like Baltimore and like Philly, and just it's like something in my brain when I start seeing that style, like those like almost London style.
Shotgun type
houses, I'm just like, dude.
Yes, there you go.
I'm looking around like something's about to happen.
Something's about to go down. I do feel you. Like, like it's like, yes. Like if you watch the series The Wire, like that type style.
I feel like I've heard of that. I haven't watched it, but I've heard of it.
It's a classic, man. So you've got to watch The Wire. Let's talk about style, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you go ahead.
No. I mean, I've had the opportunity to kind of work with you a little bit, but you obviously have some style, like the frames. What are the frames?
Cartier.
Yes, that's what I thought. All right. So you got Cartier frames, and what's your favorite? You're a collector of watches. You got some nice timepieces. So what's your favorite purchase ever, brother?
Favorite purchase ever? It's hard.
Fashion wise.
It's gonna go between 2 things, and they're kind of funny. So actually, we'll say 3 things. So I got my girl a badass Cartier, like nice diamond women's. It's not the Santos. That's a man's watch. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like the little Santos.
Like Santa Fe?
It's something I can't even remember. Right, I should probably fucking know that shit. It's like I bought that thing and don't even know the name of it. But that one's cool. There's something about it where it's just like it's a badass little watch, the way the diamonds are set. For me, it's funny. I have this old diamond watch that I bought whenever I was in the old line of business.
Okay.
The AP Royal Oaks bust down.
Wow.
It's hilarious because it's factory diamonds. So like I could go and sell it. I just haven't sold it because there's something about it to me that makes me laugh and reminds me of like what used to be. So that one there. And then I like the Sky Dweller. I mean, I wear the Sky Dweller pretty much with everything, man. Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous watch, man. Right on, man.
Thank you.
Right on. So, people that you look up to, like that you like, man, if I could get to this point, or people that you admire in life in general, whether it be in the trade or just an actor, football player, somebody that you would feel would be iconic in your life.
That's a good question, man. I've never really thought of it like that. Like I'm a big believer, and I talk about this a lot. Like, I have a lot of people that I respect, but I almost feel like it's bad to put anybody on a pedestal.
I heard that.
Because then it's like anything in life that you think is a lot, or like whether it's money, achievements, people, like if you view it like that, you automatically put yourself here. It's like, for example, like when people think $10,000 is a lot of money. Well, guess what? $10,000 will be a lot of money to you.
Right on.
100%.
Yes. Yeah, you got it. Right on.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
So like whenever you get in contact with something, you're getting close to it. And that's where like goals and standards are separated. Like a lot of people set goals, but when they set goals, really what they're doing is saying like, this is some not always, but most people, they're like, oh, this is some crazy number that I actually don't even think I'm going to hit. And I'm just going to write it down because now I can say I set a goal. And then it's like, where do you actually end up? You end up just above where you're disgusted. That's the truth. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like if you're,
I've never heard that said, but yes.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like you get to a point where, there's a certain dollar in your bank account or a certain whatever you're doing. Maybe it's not money, because not everything's about money, but there's a level where you're like, oh shit, I got to get my fucking shit together. It's like when you get fat, you get broke, whatever, you want to put yourself almost as close to that as possible so you're motivated to keep going. So kind of a long answer. If I had to say, I would say one of my good friends, he's absolutely killed it in the trading game and just the business. His name's Umar Ashraf. He's not even famous. Dude's, I don't even know how much I know he made like 20 million a year off trading.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Awesome. And I was literally just talking to him in the car. Right. So it's a close friend of mine, but I look up to him in terms of what he's been able to do. And the new level, like it shows like, for example, I was talking to him, he was in Tesla, this whole big run up. He made $15 million off one trade.
Oh, wow.
Think about that. That's fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
And I've hit hard before, but not that. I've not hit like that. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yes. So it's like, dude, that's a goal. But yeah, man, I've always been like that. Like my dad told me to be like that too. Like he was always like, never like place anything on a pedestal or anybody on a pedestal. Like I've always thought it was hella freaking weird when people like worship celebrities. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird as shit. I don't
have that either. I don't have the star like.
Yeah, it's like if I'd meet him, I'd be like, "How you doing, dude?"
Yep, you got it.
And then they're gonna respect you. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, I don't know. I don't really have any role models, bro. I don't know. Long ass answer,
fair
bro.
Enough to just say I don't have any role models. Yeah. I know, man. Fair enough. Now, you talked about your mom and dad, man. Do you still talk to your mom?
Oh yeah, I just retired them.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
man.
Right,
man. I love it.
Yeah,
man. That's right. Take care of your parents, man. I love that, man. Right on, man. Well, man, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man. You've got a lot of debt. I would like to follow up with you and see what's going on this time next year, man. And
hell yeah, man.
I wish you continued success, brother, and I appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to talk with you, brother.
Yeah, man. Now, Mark, I appreciate it, man.
Well, here we go. That turned out to be something right there. Until next time, we'll see you again on another MN Style Guide, and hope to see you soon. Bye.
See you guys. Yeah, it's a good one, man. Yeah.